All right, so you've downloaded everything you need. We're ready to go. So we're going to click on VirtualBox. We're going to get started. You're going to come up here. You're going to click on New. We're going to create a new machine. So let's go with VirtualBox. Or no, let's go with Ubuntu. I always like to put the whatever the flavor is. So we're going to go with Ubuntu and let's see. I think we're going to do 18.04. So 1804. All right, as you can see, I got 12 gigs of mem on my machine, so I'm going to bump it up a little bit to make it run a little bit faster. Memory, again, memory is everything in running virtual machines and virtual appliances. So I'm going to bump it up to make it run faster. And it's going to say it already exists, so let's go 18041. That won't exist. All right. So this is where we set the pretend hard drive, our new hard drive. I'm going to bump mine up to around 30 gigs. And I always like to use VirtualBox image, VirtualBox disk image. And here it says dynamically allocated. Now in the older GUI, you will step through these individually. But right here we are dynamically allocated. That means it adjusts the size of the hard drive on the fly. And I always like to use that. We can go fixed size. I never do it. I just like to do the dynamically allocated so we can grow into it. It's a little bit more efficient in my opinion. All right, so we're going to hit create. Now we do have some other settings that we have to change real quick, so make sure that that particular machine is highlighted. Let's go through our changes. Right here it's going to show us our base memory, and for whatever reason it didn't take that. So let's bump it up to 3200 megabytes, 3.2 gigs. Let's drop off the floppy file. We don't really need that, but we do need the optical and the hard disk. Okay, these are normally going to be set up automatically for you, default, so we're not going to worry about it. We don't need to change anything there. Let's bump up our, on display, let's bump up our memory to 128 megs. It makes it run a little bit more efficiently. We don't have to check either one of these yet. We're not going to worry about them. Storage, everything's good, but what we need to do is we need to find our boot device. Okay, so you're going to click on the empty, and then we're going to go over here to this disk, and then you're going to choose that file that you just selected, all right, or that you just downloaded from Ubuntu. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and right here it is for me, because remember I put it on my desktop. So we're going to put it there. You're going to highlight it. We're going to hit open. So what we're going to do is we're going to boot off of that disk. Right now, if you have a live CD, you already created the actual disk, or you got a physical disk in your hand, you can click this right here, but we're not going to worry about that. Audio, we're not going to change everything. We're going to double check the network. It's going to be set up on NAT, network address translation, definitely testable, and that just means that we're going to piggyback off of our host adapter. We're not going to really change anything as far as we're concerned yet. We're just going to share an adapter. Serial ports, we're not going to change anything. We're not going to change anything on USB. It normally defaults to 2.0. Most people have that. Shared folders and user interface, we are not going to worry about it. So let's click OK, and let's get this puppy running. So from here, we're going to take, we're going to go ahead, we're going to hit start. I'm going to drink some coffee along the way. I got about a half hour to cut this video, and then we got to take Milo to the vet. So I got a bad cold today. It's not a cold, it's allergies. So as this is booting up, let me expand that out. We're going to boot up here. I do want to talk about a couple things that we use VirtualBox for. VirtualBox, VMware, and Virtual PC are the more popular virtualization applications that are out there. The reason that we use them is we create this pretend or this virtual environment on top of our real desktop, our big desktop. And the reason we do that is kind of to protect our machine, and we do it for efficiency. We do it to save money. Somebody brought that up in class last night. First time that somebody said save money, it was what a great answer. It definitely, because it improves efficiency. Once you create a machine and you're out there in a hosting environment, all you got to do is copy it over to another machine or create a new instance of it, and then personalize it for your end user. So great answer there, definitely. So and we use it a lot in virus research and in the academic world. All right, a couple things here. This is my network icon. There's my sound. Everything's working. You got two different choices here. You can try it, which is fine. If you're on an older machine, I suggest you try it first. And what you're going to do is you're going to use that ISO file as an actual hard drive. and it's going to slow down your computer. It's going to be slow, but it'll tell you if everything's going to work well with your particular hardware. That's specifically important if you're running a piece of proprietary software, and proprietary means that the company that created it, it's going to be a little bit different than your standard machine, and a lot of laptops are proprietary. Not so much desktops anymore, but a lot of laptops are proprietary. And a specific one that I can think of is your Toshiba Satellite brand. I have one. It's a great computer. Been running for 10 years. It's a little bit outdated now, but it's got 6 gigs of RAM in it, and I can use it for everyday things. It's a great computer, but sometimes it's a little bit buggy when I try doing things on it. So I'm hoping that everything's going to work out of the box here. So let's hit install Ubuntu. It's going to guide us through the process. All right, we're going to use American English. Okay, important here. We're going to do a normal installation. We could do the minimal installation, but I'm not going to. We're going to do a normal installation. It pretty much installs everything. Now, this particular box right here, I don't like to do it on a new installation. And the reason I don't like to do it is sometimes the updates take a long time to download depending on how current the ISO was that you used. So I just want to do a fresh, simple install. You're probably okay to do that at home. I would caution you though, there's some things that could go wrong there. So my preference is that you do it exactly the way I'm showing you here. Now, if you have one of those proprietary pieces of hardware that I was talking about, you might want to check this, but let's try it without that being checked for now. Let's hit continue. We're going to erase and install, and then we're going to hit continue. And it's a very, very safe installation. But the thing to remember is make sure that you can still see your host back here in the background. See, this is my host. This is my host machine. Okay, so it's still there. I've changed nothing there. And then this is my virtual machine. Let me shrink that down a little bit so you can see it. So here's my virtual machine. Okay, so my guest or my guest virtual machine is running on top of my host machine. So make sure you understand that concept. If this is all filling up your whole screen here, all right, you might want to go back and make sure you're doing it exactly the way I showed you, because what you're going to do is you're going to wipe out your Windows installation. But as long as you're in this box and as long as you can see your Windows in the background, you're good. You're good to go. So let's expand that back out. Let's hit continue. We are on the New York time thing. Now, what I ask everybody to do here is put your first initial and your last name. That way I know it's you, and I want you to do that in all my classes because you will submit screenshots of some of the work you do, and I want to make sure it's you that's doing the work. So your first initial and your last name. And in all my classes, password is the top secret password. And the reason I have you do that is, believe it or not, there's students that come in, they create a machine, and they forget their password. All right, and it slows down the class. It wrecks the class, and it really, really pisses me off. So make sure you put password in there. So it's your first initial, last name. In my case, Tim Starr, so it's T Starr. If your name is Joe Blow, it's J and then B-L-O-W. It's very easy. All right, and then you hit continue. So let's see, what else did we talk about last night in class? We have covered what an ISO file is. We're going to get to it in a little bit, but let's talk about IP addresses. You have a static IP address, which means that it's been assigned by a dude or dudette. Your IP address is like the 192.168.0.1 that we use, and then you have your MAC address. Okay, let's go back to IP address real quick. Your IP address can be assigned by a person. That means it's static, or it can be assigned by your system, which means it's dynamic. Whenever you hear the word dynamic in the IT world, it means on the fly, basically. Think of that. It's going to change, ever-changing, and it changes on the fly. So what happens is when you boot up your computer in a dynamic host configuration protocol environment, the whole network, there's an assigned server that manages the IP addresses, so it's assigned on the fly. Where a static is some guy or girl went in there and they changed it and they made their network manually. There's advantages and disadvantages to each of them. The dynamic, it doesn't require a person to intervene, so it's done on the fly. It's normally done in large environments like a hospital, a school, maybe a big company. And then when we statically assign them, it normally means you have a smaller network, and you don't have to manage a lot of computers. And there's advantages and disadvantages of each, but mainly efficiency on the dynamic host configuration protocol. But when we're statically assigning them, then we know exactly what that particular machine is so that we can remote into it. So it just depends on your particular application. Again, smaller companies will probably use static. At home, you're going to use static probably. And bigger corporations are going to use dynamic host configuration protocol. So that's the differences there. Now, we talked about your MAC address last night. Your MAC address is assigned, normally assigned, and I'll use normally cautiously here. Most of the time it's assigned by the manufacturer of the NIC device, the network interface card, or the networking device. And it's a series of numbers and letters. And we talked about it a little bit in class. And for the most part, it can't be changed. Now, in the old days, it was really hard to change a MAC address, but now there's software that can change it. So we need the IP address and the MAC address to talk on the network. You need them both. If you don't have them both, then some things can go wrong. And there is one exception to that. That's the dynamic host configuration protocol. Normally, you don't have an IP address yet, so it uses 0.0.0.0, but then it uses the MAC address to set up and configure everything. And someday I need to make a video on that. I had one, but it wasn't a very good video. It was kind of grainy. So maybe this weekend, if I feel up to it, I'll make a video on that to show you how that's done. It's an important concept to understand. So anyways, we're going to go through here, and it's going to download the language packs. So this is the cutest dog in the world. This would be Milo. Milo, look over here. And he's come in to help Daddy cut a video. Be on your way, Milo. He's going to the vet and the groomer today. He's going to be really happy. All right, and then it's going to pop up and it's going to say installation complete. The whole thing should take you maybe 10-15 minutes. Depends on how fast your computer is. This one's a pretty fast computer. It's only about a year old. It's one of my servers, so it's pretty fast. You're going to, at this point in time then, you're going to hit enter. You don't have to do anything other than hit enter. It's going to reboot. Now, sometimes when you get done with this part of the installation, you might get an error up here. All right, and this is important. It depends on your computer. And again, I can't support you because I don't know what your computer is. But sometimes what it'll do is it'll tell you that you need to enable Hyper-V. Now, to enable Hyper-V, you do that inside the BIOS normally of your host computer. And every computer's different, so I can't help you there. All right, so if you get the error that says you need to enable Hyper-V or Hyper-V not enabled, that's what that is. So you'll have to research it for your particular computer and find out what happens and what you need to do on your end. That's definitely something you need to do. All right, so here I am. I'm installed. This means I'm up and running. I can click next here. It's going to guide me through. We're not going to worry about any of this. Okay. And now I'm ready to go. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to try and make sure that I'm connected to the internet because that's very important for us. Again, I'm on network address translation. I will cut a separate video, hopefully later today or tomorrow, on the different network settings because it's important you understand that. I'm looking here, my hard drive's running. It looks like I got some kind of activity on the network. Keep in mind that when you do use these types of the blinking, I've seen many people troubleshoot a computer that had a bad NIC card, and they tell me, they say, well, the NIC card was blinking. Okay, keep in mind that lights are just idiot lights, all right? It just means that something's taken place, but it's not checking for data. It's not checking for consistency. It's not checking for anything else. So it is a good indication that something is happening, but you don't know if it's good. But in this case, I was able to bring up Mozilla, so I know I'm good. That means I'm connected to the internet, and my installation was successful. So I want you to go ahead and I want you to try to install VirtualBox and Ubuntu at home. You will be tested on this next week. So it is what it is. I would suggest you practice it a couple times. Just keep in mind that when you're setting it up, if you've already called it Ubuntu 18.04 like I did, you might have to change it to 18.04.1 or 18.04.2. Doesn't hurt you to do a couple installations. You'll have 1 hour to do this in the classroom, and you're going to do it on your own. So that is that. I'm going to log out, and it's time for me to take Mr. Milo to the vet. And he's going to get groomed today, too. So I wish you luck. Hopefully this will help you out. Look for some more videos this weekend. If I get some things done around the house, I plan on cutting a couple more videos. So I'm going to power off. Good luck to you. Have a good day, and keep up the great work in the classroom. Thank you.